I fully intended to make these public. However, because of a misunderstanding, both the information supplied to the party for my return and my completed return to the Electoral Commission did not include the 2022 donations. This was my mistake, which I accept and I apologise for. Over the last week, I've conducted a full audit of all my campaign expenses and donations, so I can be confident in the corrected return to the Electoral Commission. In the course of this thorough audit process, I also became aware of one 2023 donation which was not included in the return. I have also rectified this mistake. It was always my intention to fully disclose candidate donations. I have always been transparent and upfront, and that is why I am fronting up here today to explain what has happened. I am extremely disappointed in myself. I apologise to my constituents, to the party, and to the New Zealand public. I entered politics to represent my community and to make the country a better place, and I am still committed to that. Kia ora tātou katoa. I own up to that. I've had a mistake in filing an incorrect return. It was due to a misunderstanding, and I'm sorry for that mistake.
Could you be prosecuted? Could you be prosecuted?
That would be up to the Commission.
Where did you think those 2022 donations were going to be declared? You only declared the 2023 ones. Where did you think the 2022 ones would be declared?
I had thought that they had been previously declared.
Did you do that?
That was due to us submitting information to the National Party. Clearly it wasn't done in the way in which it allowed me to populate my template correctly. I had a misunderstanding that my declaration was only for the 2023 year. That's where I've made the error.
So the National Party already knew about the $100,000 donation?
It wasn't made aware to them in the appropriate fashion that allowed them to understand that they were there for the 22 year.
If you'd only missed the 2022 donations, that would make sense in that you thought that it was just for the 2023 year, but that doesn't stack up when you also missed $10,000 from
That's
2023.
correct. Yeah, I've made a mistake. I mean, when I signed I understand that by law the candidate is responsible for the absolute accuracy of one's return. I've made a mistake with the return, and I'm trying to be upfront and correct that situation. The return I've sent back to the Commission yesterday. It has had a thorough audit process attached to it, and I'm confident that this new return is absolutely correct.
If you park the 2022 bit and just look at the fact that you still missed a $10,000 donation in 2023, what was the reason for that? Is that a back office staff issue? Is that a you issue? Why did you miss that $10,000 one in 2023 as well?
The law is clear that I am responsible for the accuracy of the return. I'm taking responsibility for that. It is my error for signing this, it not being true and correct. I'm owning up to that.
You had $30,000 declared, correct?
Yes, about that, yes.
David, you missed. How?
It was through a misunderstanding. I've never ever tried to hide these donations. I've communicated with the donors saying that they will be declared. They were fully of that understanding. We had provided information to the National Party. Clearly it hasn't been picked up in my return.
What was the National Leader's reaction to this, and what conversations has he had with you?
Yeah, I had a conversation with the Prime Minister yesterday. Clearly he was disappointed that I didn't maintain the high standards expected of national MPs, and I'm wearing the punishment of that right now.
How do you feel about losing this election?
Oh well, first of all, the mistake I've made, I feel very embarrassed. I've made an error, and I'm fronting for that.
We could say, do you think?
I do think it's a fair punishment. It's I think the leader has made the appropriate decision.
And can you just
given any indication to you, David, about how long you might be punished for?
I wouldn't know. That'll be up to the Prime Minister.
Was there any confusion on your end as to whether those donations were made to you as a candidate or to the National Party? Is that where the confusion's come in?
No, it's never been that. It's always been clear that these donations were donations to me as the candidate, never the party.
It's a bit confusing with who lost the 10 grand.
That was a pure mistake of it not being included in that, thinking it was a 2023 year return only.
Can you describe what the misunderstanding that you keep referencing? Can you articulate what was misunderstood?
Yeah, so the return that I had was populated with 2023 year information, both expenses and the donations. I had wrongly assessed that was correct, and I had assumed that the 2022 year donations had already been filed. That was my error and that my misinterpretation.
So just to clarify, because I know you've mentioned that filing donations or declaring donations is the responsibility of the candidate, but was there no one else involved in this process? Was it purely your involvement or your misunderstanding that led to this, or was there any other misunderstanding on a part of your staff members at all that led to this?
The error that has eventuated here is me signing an incorrect return. I'm owning up to that responsibility. It is my role to make sure that return is correct. It wasn't, and I'm owning up to that.
You're a new candidate, you're a new MP. I mean, you've made a couple of big mistakes here. Do you think you got the appropriate level of support from the National Party? Do you think they could have helped you out a bit more?
The National Party is the one that picked up this error, and I'm thankful they did, because I'd filed a wrong return, and so as a result of them picking up that error, I've conducted a thorough audit process and I've corrected that situation.
But maybe you wouldn't have filed an incorrect return in the first place had they given a new candidate.
Once again, it's not their responsibility, it is my responsibility for signing that document for it to be true and account. It is my
Were
responsibility.
you given any instructions by the National Party, because the confusion's come from the 2023-2022,
Yep.
right? Were you given any instructions from the National Party as to what to include on that form? Were you given a fact sheet or an instruction sheet of how to fill out the return?
It's always been made clear to us candidates that we are to declare donations that are in excess of $1,500. I was always clear about that right from day one when I became a candidate. I communicated that to all the donors that generously supported me. I've made a mistake in signing this incorrect return.
Did you get any instructions from the National Party about how to fill out that 2023 return?
The 2023 return is, it's my responsibility to fill it out.
You're just not answering the question.
Yeah.
Did the National Party give you any instructions that said everything over the past 3 years needs to be declared in the 2023 return?
The party did say that, yes.
And you just ignored it?
I didn't ignore it. I was mistaken in the way in which I interpreted what was on this particular return.
How do you expect Taranaki to respond to this? Their MP is now effectively not on any committee doing much at all.
I think they'll be very disappointed, as disappointed as I am in that situation.
Have you contacted your donors to explain?
I have actually, and that's out of due respect to them. I've contacted my family as well, and my close contacts.
You're a first-term MP and you got given chair of the Environment Select Committee, which is a pretty big deal. Do you worry that this will put you on the back foot, and how long might it be before you get the opportunity to have that responsibility again?
Clearly, I mean, I'm here because I have the confidence that I can contribute to make this country a better place. That's always been my endeavour of being in politics. Have I thought about that? Of course I've thought about that.
Why did you contact the donors this time around?
I wanted them to be aware that this is potentially going to be a media situation. I thought it was unfair that they hear it through the media rather than for me to tell them that, hey, I'm in a spot of bother here.
And what was their reaction?
I think they were disappointed that it's occurred, and they wish me well in trying to get through this.
Did you when everything came out about the donations, did you go back and look and go, oh, so-and-so donors are on my list? Like, was there ever a point where you realised?
I've never tried to hide any of these donations, including the one that you talked to that was missed on the 23 return. As you can see, I was generously supported. You guys have that information. I have a lot of supporters. I think I had a total of 44 donators to my campaign, and I missed that one, probably due to the enormity of the number of it, and I was relying too much on the information that was provided to me, and that was my error.
Is National going to change its processes at all so it can maybe pick up these errors before candidates sign, do you know?
You'd have to talk to the National Party. I think the National Party's processes are strong. This is my error.
So the National Party processes are strong when they knew about your 2022 donations and they haven't been declared with the Electoral Commission until now.
I say they're strong because they're the ones that actually picked up this anomaly. They did a reconciliation of their accounts in that and realised there was a discrepancy on my one. So it's actually their processes that actually found this.
6 months after the election.
It's part of the, I understand the new electoral rules that all parties must do this, and it's the process that they ran.
You attracted some donations from some pretty big donors, pretty generous ones with respect to your party and others as well. Why were they donating to you specifically?
Well, firstly, these are close friends and colleagues of mine, so I'm not unfamiliar to them. As to their generosity, I said you'd have to ask them for that.